Lights, cameras, action!
So, what ignited the spark in you to start your business, and how did the idea for your business come about?
Well, it just came about naturally because I'm just compelled to make art and I'm just always doing it. And so then I was like, well, I think I could start selling these images and people respond to that and people would ask me. So it's just always been part of my nature.
Okay. What are 3 pieces of advice that you would give to college students who want to become entrepreneurs?
Well, it's always good to have a backup plan. And for me, teaching is allowing me the freedom to start my own business. And so I can segue into business, but I also have that foundation of an income. And so I think it's important for kids to really at least get a degree too, even if you don't use it. I think having a degree shows that you can use your mind and that you can stick with something, finish it.
Okay. If you had the chance to start your business over again, is there anything you would do differently?
Well, I'm still working on it, so it's still evolving. I think I'm on the right path. I don't think I have any regrets at this time.
What would you say are the top 3 skills that are needed to be successful in having your own business?
I think networking is really important. I think having a really good business card, putting it out there, having social media. Social media is key to a good business. Having a web presence is key these days. You cannot exist, you cannot make money without a web presence, I think. I think that word of mouth does count though. And the more you have established great client relationships, the more the business will grow.
What have been some of your failures, and what have those failures taught you?
Well, I think sometimes as an artist, it's really hard to know how to price your work. It's really hard to know what people are going to like and want. And so I'm constantly reevaluating that and getting feedback from my peers and running things by people is very helpful. And just learning by experience, learning the hard way. It just happens.
How long do you generally stick with an idea before basically giving up on it?
Well, I usually fixate on something for some time. Like right now, I'm really fixated on this image of this shelter house, and I've shot it many times of the year, many times of different times of the day. I don't know when I'm going to get tired of it. I just don't know. I just keep going until I don't have that urge anymore. And like I paint my cat a lot. I just think he's a great subject matter, and I haven't gotten tired of him yet.
How many hours, about on average, do you work every day on your business or on your art?
I at least do an hour a day. Daily practice is key, and when I'm not teaching, it's more. It really, I think it should be 5 hours a day of creating. Now, that may not sound like a lot to some people, but it's very draining. It's very highly focused work. And especially if you're painting or editing images, it's very highly focused. And so it's exhausting. I think I could definitely, if I was in my best situation, I could do a solid 4 or 5 hours a day, starting in the morning.
Okay. Describe your typical day.
Well, my typical day is I love to shoot photography in what's called the magic hour, which is dusk/sunset. When the lighting is changing, the colors are amplified. I shoot every evening, okay? And so then I usually edit in the morning before I go to my teaching job. And I post an image every morning. And for painting, I draw upon my photographs that I've been shooting with the exact lighting and the exact colors that I want. And I usually end up painting in the evening. Ideal time, I think, for me, energy-wise, is the morning, but it just doesn't happen because I'm still working. When I retire, I'm going to set up a really strict schedule for myself. I say that, but we'll see.
We all like to think we'll be a bit more strict on ourselves.
Yes.
What are some things that motivate you?
Nature. I just feel like being in nature is fulfilling for me. It rejuvenates my spirit. Being near water, I love being near water. I just get, it centers me. I feel a balance. I love animals. I'm about to start getting into portrait work, and I'm really excited about that. People are not usually my focus, but I'm excited. It's going to be a new twist, a new avenue.
How do you generally generate new ideas?
My favorite thing is when I'm in nature and something comes upon me, and I see it. I see it as an artwork, and it grabs me, and I'm just like, oh, there it is. I really like an image to take my breath away almost, to just be like, that tree, it's just, that's it, it's hard to put into words, but when I'm outside, that's when I get the best ideas.
Okay. What is your greatest fear, and how do you use that?
I don't think I really use my fear in my work very much. I suppose I have an underlying fear of missing things, of time running out, of not being present in the moment and not being aware. And when I do photography or painting, I'm present in the moment. I'm really absorbing life. I mean, I memorize it. Doing a painting is like memorizing that moment. And so is photography. So maybe that's part of my being compelled to create images. I don't know.
What are some of your ideals?
Well, I think that I'm pretty idealistic. I like to show things in beauty. I like my art to be showing places, even if it's a run-down building, I want to find beauty in that. I went to Detroit recently, and I was shooting photographs there. I didn't want to just show blight. I didn't want to just show the depression of the run-down city. I wanted to find beauty in it, and I did, and I found a whole neighborhood that has transformed itself into art by painting on the houses. They were all run down, and that filled me. That filled me with hope, and I want my work to have hope and to lift people up.
How do you define success?
Well, I guess I have an underlying desire for people to like my work, and for people to love it even. And I feel success when people find joy in my work and they respond to it. It brings me successful feeling of happiness, and I'm doing a good job. And so that's probably it.
What is the best way to achieve long-term success, in your opinion?
I think practice. I think there's a big myth that you are born with talent. I don't think it's magical. I really don't. I think it's work. And I think the more you do it, the better you get. You don't sit down and play piano like a star. You have to start at the beginning with the fundamentals, and it's not easy. So I think just daily practice and always thinking about it. That's it.
How do you build a successful customer base?
Again, I think it's social media. In the art world, it's a lot about entering shows, and it's about building a portfolio, building a body of work, and entering shows. Even if there's rejection, there's a lot of rejection in the art world, and you just have to build that shell. Okay, I didn't get into that show, I'll try for the next. And I think the long-term goal for a lot of artists is to get a gallery, and that is definitely something I'm working on. Get a gallery that represents you, and they have connections, and they are the ones that help also build your patronage and people that want your kind of work.
Do you believe there is some sort of pattern or formula to becoming a successful entrepreneur?
Well, in the art world, I think that people build, I don't want to say brand, that's too corporate, that's too business, but people build a body of work that's theirs, that's original to them. It's like a singer-songwriter has a sound, you recognize that sound, it's their style. In the visual world, you build a body of work and people can spot it, and you know that's that person, and it's original, it's your signature style, whether it's black and white or color or nature or urban. That I think is the key.
What has been your most satisfying moment in building your business?
Well, I think recently I just received the Spotlight Artist Award from Mrs. Kasich. It's a program that she created to put the spotlight on Ohio artists. So right now my work is at the Governor's Mansion, and it really just made me feel validated, and it gave me encouragement, and it gave me a shot in my arm, like, hey, you're on the right track. You're doing something. We value you. I was like, oh my gosh, somebody cares. Somebody's interested in my work, you know? So I think that's the biggest thing so far.
What do you feel is the major difference between entrepreneurs and those who work for somebody else?
Well, I think that people starting art businesses are usually self-employed. I mean, that's what it is. That's the nature of it. And the art business is really rough. And most people have to work for someone else to support their art until their art gets on their own. So it's a more complicated question when you're in the art world. It's hard. I mean, it's just a hard business to break into. So most people are teaching or doing something else till they can really make a living at it.
How do you go about marketing your business, and what has been your most successful form of marketing?
Well, I wish I had an agent. I think if I had an art agent, it would be so much easier for me, because I don't like that aspect of the job. I like creating. I like being a dreamer, artist, out there. The hardcore marketing is hard. It's tough for me, but I'm going to study it. I'm going to get better at it. And again, I think social media is key, and I think networking is key, and just being out there, contests and shows.
In one word, characterize your life as an entrepreneur.
Well, I am still in the beginning phases of selling my work. Oh, you said one word. Oh my gosh. I would say beginning or striving. Striving's a good word.
All right. What are some of your hobbies, not including anything involving your work?
Hiking, being in nature, I think is probably it.
What sacrifices have you had to make for your business?
Well, I think it's just the rejection part, that you have to keep going no matter what. If you don't get in that show, you're going to try again next year. You're going to try a different show. And once you start getting into shows and getting feedback, and then when you win a prize, that's it. You know, it just takes time. It just takes time.
Okay. And where do you see yourself and your business in 10 years?
Well, I hope to be creating art full time, and really, I'd love to get a gallery. Okay, the fantasy life dream in 10 years is I have a gallery that represents me in New York, one in San Francisco, and I'm traveling and I'm just creating art full time and making a really good income from it.
Okay. All right, Vanda, well, I thank you for coming out here, taking the time to answer these questions and help myself and others understand a bit more about what it takes to become a successful artist and business owner.
Thank you so much, Jessica. It's been a wonderful experience talking to you.